Okay, so the heater is on because it's freezing outside. So if you can hear that, apologies, but I'm not turning it off because like I said, it's really cold. I'm gonna do a little mini book haul. I was doing some shopping on Amazon, Christmas shopping, and I felt like, you know, there were some things, some books, a couple of, well, there's a lot of books on my TBR for 2023. I finally got a hold of a Rachel Cusk. I just went off Amazon. I have been trying to get a hold of her books for a couple of weeks, maybe even months now. Barnes & Noble is either out or I happen to be at a bookstore that doesn't even sell her books. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick it up off Amazon. Outline is the first one. I love the covers. There's something about these covers that are so, I don't know. I don't even know. Like something about them feels very modern, but also feels like I'm looking at like a Polaroid and feels kind of vintage at the same time. Couldn't even tell you what it's about, to be honest, but I know it's been on my TBR for a while. The synopsis says, Outline is a novel in 10 conversations. Spare and lucid, it follows a novelist teaching a course in creative writing over an oppressively hot summer in Athens. She leads her students in storytelling exercises. She meets other writers for dinner. She goes swimming in the Ionian Sea. Ionian? May be mispronouncing that. With her seatmate from the plane. The people she encounters speak volubly about themselves, their fantasies, anxieties, pet theories, regrets, and longings. And through these disclosures, a portrait of the narrator is drawn by contrast, a portrait of a woman learning to face great loss. Outline is the first book in a short and yet epic cycle, a masterful trilogy which will be remembered as one of the most significant achievements of our times. So I'm really excited about this. There's something about the formatting, even just like the font style being like a little bit different. There's something about the aesthetic of it that I really like.
That's what they do.
We got it.
We got it.
What you doing, Santa? Alright guys, I have not done a proper update on this book because, as you can probably tell from my voice, I've been a little bit under the weather. Haven't really felt like picking up the camera, but I am thoroughly enjoying this and just wanted to let you guys know. I've got 3 chapters left to go, so I'm on chapter 7 right now, I believe. So I did not initially buy the other 2 books because I've done that before, where I've purchased like an entire series and then not been crazy about the first one, and then you end up having to like sell or donate the other ones because you know you're not going to read them. This, however, I feel like I could have picked up the other 2, and I'll make sure to get these other matching copies, which I didn't realize I bought like the UK version. I'm glad I did. I'm obsessed with these covers. But yeah, apparently I don't even know if there's like an American version, but I know Barnes & Noble has, my local Barnes & Noble has the 2nd and the 3rd. They just didn't have this one, which is why I had to buy this one on Amazon. But anyway, definitely putting Rachel Cusk on my 2023 TBR list for sure. Alright guys, so it has been a couple of days and I did finish Outline. I'm already on to my next and last book of 2023. So this is the first book in the Outline trilogy. I think the thing that I loved about this the most was the structure. So it's told in 10 conversations. Each conversation gets a chapter devoted to it. It's essentially following the main character, who I don't believe is ever named. If she was, I missed it. Okay, so somebody said she was a nearly nameless narrator. Say that 5 times fast. So I assume her name was mentioned at least once. Is that what that means? And I just missed it? Probably. So it follows her basically having 10 different conversations with strangers, and then by the end we're supposed to get sort of a sketch or a outline of who she is as a person. So I'm gonna pull up my reading journal. This is probably the last time I'm gonna use this one from 2022. So I gave Outline 4 stars. It's only like 250 pages, very spare. I felt like I whizzed through it pretty quickly. We're following this narrator as she hops on a plane to Athens because she's gonna teach at a summer school there. And so we end up meeting like the person she sits next to on the plane. We end up meeting like some of her students. There's like a neighbor person who we interact with, some friends, like some gal pals that she meets while she's there. So you're sort of supposed to, I guess, see bits of her personality come through, but how they juxtapose with other characters, which is a really interesting sort of backwards way to approach a novel, but also really fascinating. I really liked it a lot. I really like this quote. It's rare that I actually read you guys quotes anymore. I feel like it's kind of fun. It gives you a sense of the writer's style, obviously. The quote is, "A desire for freedom tugged at me as though it were a thread fastened to my chest. I had learned that it was not the summons from a larger world. It was simply a desire to escape from what I had. The thread led nowhere except into ever-expanding wastes of anonymity." And I think we've all struggled with that, or not necessarily struggled with it, but we've all had thoughts of like escaping our life. I think that's why we read or watch movies or anything, for the entertainment value, yes, but for the escapism. Like boyfriend and I just watched Avatar: The Way of Water the other day. We did that for my birthday on the 29th, and it's like 3 hours of just like not having to deal with your own problems in your own life. Like that's why we read, that's why we see movies. Something that I really liked as well is that even though you get almost no like direct description of our narrator, it feels really intimate because the conversations that she's describing and the dialogue feels like journal entries. It feels like she's like going home after a night out with you know, whoever she was with, and like scribbling out the conversation between the two characters. So it feels really intimate. I always give like my thoughts at the very end. And I said Cusk is clever in her nuanced way of revealing by way of concealing. So I said I hope in the next 2 books we get more than just an outline of our main character. I hope we really get like a more fleshed out version of who she is. I have no idea what the next 2 books hold, but they will be bought soon and put on my shelf. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.